Okay, we are back on the air.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, wide sidewall tires and old golf balls.
Sink, stoves, bathtubs too, he'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
Make it bright and clearer.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
And now, please get your kicks from this road song, written in 1946 by Bobby Troup. Take it away, Bonnie.
If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo and Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. Now won't you get hip to this timely tip when you make that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo and Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. Now won't you get hip to this timely tip when you made that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Come on now. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66.
Bonnie Lee. Let's hear it for Bonnie Lee. Thank you, Bonnie.
Social Security now, and it's a good deal by cracky.
That's right. Social Security provides you insurance protection with benefits which you'll get when you retire at 65 or when you reach 50 if you're totally or permanently disabled. Social Security also provides family survivor benefits for servicemen's widow and minor children. If you're a military service member, it's important for you to learn how many years of service you will need to qualify for a second retirement check. Men can collect Social Security at age 65, but women are eligible at age 62. Have you investigated your Social Security benefits?
Thank you, FDR. It's a good deal from a new deal.
The Great Southwest Radio Theater Project presents Don't Tell Me About Halloween. Originally aired on October 27, 1947, as an episode of Quiet Please, which was written by Wyllis Cooper.
I'm going to kill my wife tonight, or maybe tomorrow night. I'm going to kill one of my wives. I better, or something's going to happen to me that won't be good. Well, Halloween's almost here. Halloween's the deadline. And Candace has to be dead before Halloween. Only trouble is, I'm not sure I'll recognize her when she shows up. You ever been in Salem, Massachusetts? Place where they hanged all the witches? No, they didn't burn them at the stake. A lot of people think so, but they didn't. They hanged them. All except the man-witch, old Giles Corey. They pressed him to death. Very unpleasant. Well, it was in Salem this particular Halloween that I met Candace. It was dark up there on the hill where the gallows used to stand. Dark and cold, with a damp wind coming in off the sea. And the few little lights you could see in the dusk only made it darker and lonelier and creepier up there. And I remember how I shivered as I started down the hill to town. And I remember how I jumped when something that looked like a black cat jumped out of the shadows at my feet. Without thinking, I yelled, "Who's that?" And my heart almost stopped beating because...
Well, good evening.
I'd been all alone up there, and then... all of a sudden, there was a woman standing beside me.
You're the first human being that's spoken to me tonight.
Who are you?
I'm Candace.
I don't know any Candace.
You didn't, but you do now.
You nearly scared me to death.
Oh, I wouldn't do that to you. What's your name?
Craig.
You like me, Craig?
What? Well, I don't know what you look like.
I like you very much.
Well, but
Kiss me, Craig.
Now?
Kiss me, I said. You know, you're going to be a very nice husband for me, Craig.
What do you mean? I'm not going to...
Oh, yes, you are. When I say something's going to happen, it happens, Craig.
But I'm not...
Wouldn't you like to be rich, Craig, and have a beautiful wife? I am beautiful. You'll see. Wouldn't you like to be rich and wise and happy and live forever? Wouldn't you, Craig?
Who the devil are you?
Why, that's a very apt way of putting it, Craig.
Who are you?
I'm Candace.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
I'm the witch they didn't hang, Craig.
Well, she was right. I am rich. Whenever I need money, which hasn't been for a long time now, I ask Candace when she comes to see me at Halloween time. I am reasonably wise, I suppose. I'm quite an authority on American history, quite well considered at the university here. And while I say I have lived forever, I have lived 253 years. Yeah, that's right. You see, I met Candace on the hill above Salem in the year 1694, 2 years after Cotton Mather stopped hanging witches. Yes, Candace has kept her promise. I remember the way she put it, standing up there in the early morning, watching the mist crawling along the ground below us.
You'll not see me now till another Halloween, and I can't tell you what form I'll be in when I come to see you again. But if you see a strange bird, or a lost dog,
or any strange being at your door come Halloween, you say, "Who's that?" And if it so happens the stranger's me, why, then I'll be home with you till the cock crows for morning.
And I remember I started to speak, to ask questions, but she stopped me.
For the time's short now, my love, and remember the words, and we've all the future before us. As long as I live, you shall live.
And below us somewhere a rooster crowed. And I was standing alone on the hill. And a yellow butterfly was rising in circles above my head. I watched it disappear into the first rays of the sun. No, I didn't believe it either. And yet we were only 2 years away from the witchcraft trials, and whatever may be said today, the belief in witches didn't die as quick a death as modern historians would have you believe. I was there. I know. Besides, I had married a witch. Halloween, 1695. A stray dog lay on my doorstep, shivering in the rain. I don't like dogs. I was about to boot the animal into the street when I caught a look in its eyes, and I yelled, "Who's that?"
Well, it's about time. I've been lying there on that doorstep freezing and nearly drowned without a stitch on, and you stand there and look at me like some great fool. Get me something to put around me and stir up the fire before I catch my death of cold. And I do believe you were going to kick me, too. What did I ever see in you?
Candace, dear, how was I to know?
Give me that quilt.
Oh. She was all contriteness and apologies in a moment. But I can feel that slap alongside my chops from 2.5 centuries ago. And our first anniversary was a very pleasant one. I was rather glad I married a witch. It had its drawbacks, though. Despite wealth and growing wisdom, people around me in Salem grew old, and I seemed to stay the same age. I moved away, and the years went on. I moved away from Salem, and I moved away from Philadelphia. And I moved from Baltimore and Richmond, Savannah, and a score of other places. I spoke to George Washington. And I watched Robert Fulton's steamboat chug up the Hudson when I was more than 100 years old and looked 35. And every Halloween, I welcomed Candace home for a night. One year in a farmhouse on an Illinois prairie, a red fox whined at my door. And it was Candace. One year, a blue jay flew down from a tree in Missouri. And another year, she came as a skittering little gray field mouse. And the year I came back to Wisconsin after the Civil War, a porcupine gnawed its way into my cabin on Halloween night, and one of its quills spiked me before I thought to say, "Who's that?" And when Candace smiled at me, there was only a strand of yellow hair through the thick of my thumb. I remember she pulled it out, and it hurt. Years and years and years. She's been a wonderful wife, but I never forget what she is. Once a year is getting to be enough. It was just 67 years ago tonight, before Halloween, you see. That was the first time she appeared before Halloween, 1880. Rutherford B. Hayes was still president then. Seems like yesterday. I heard something bumping against the front door, and before I called out, "Who's that?"
I thought you were never going to call.
Darling, I didn't know it was you.
Well,
Huh?
don't people kiss their wives anymore?
Darling, you surprised me.
Suppose you surprise me. Now.
How come you're so early, dear?
Oh, I just thought it would be nice to surprise you.
You certainly did surprise me.
Did I?
You certainly did.
What's happened since last year?
Why, nothing much.
That's so?
What have you been doing?
I've been away.
Where?
Craig, you'll be better off if you don't inquire too closely into my private affairs. Being married to a witch ought to be enough for you.
I'm just interested, Candace.
Like I'm interested in what you do when I'm away.
What?
I am interested, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about, dear.
You don't?
No.
Don't you ever get lonely while I'm away?
What? Why, certainly.
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, Craig.
I don't either.
You're forgetting that I'm a witch, dear.
What?
You can't keep anything from me, Craig. Don't you know that?
Why,
Oh, I won't punish you, Craig. But you mustn't run around with red-haired girls.
Why, I don't know what you're...
Oh, yes, you do. So I just decided to take that temptation away from you.
Candace, what did
Look
you...
over there at that window, darling.
And I looked. And peering in the window, out of the darkness, was a frightened, tiny red squirrel, its teeth chattering with terror and cold.
She's still got her red hair, dear.
Candace, did you do that to her?
Of course, dear. No, don't try to rescue her, Craig. I've got other plans for your little girlfriend.
What are you going to...
Listen. Now come here and kiss me. Good.
Yes. In some ways, it's fine. In some ways. You know, in the last 50, 60 years, I've gotten so I'm afraid to say who's that. Anytime. Wait a second. Did you hear anything? No? No, I guess she's not here. I wouldn't want her to surprise me again. I want to surprise her. It's 67 years ago that she set the wolves on that poor little red squirrel that was once Marjorie. I've forgotten her last name. But I haven't forgotten what she did to me. They arrested me for murder. Candace let me stay in the jail a whole year. I waited till next Halloween, 1881, till a little screech owl came and perched on the window ledge of my cell. Even then, it took me half an hour to remember to say, "Who's that?" Sure, she was very sorry, she said. Very sorry. But I had to be punished for being unfaithful to her. Unfaithful! I never even kissed Marjorie. That witch? Believe me, I was pretty careful after I got out of there and moved to Oklahoma. If I had any female acquaintances, I stopped seeing them along in early September. But darn it, how would you like it if you only saw your wife once a year? And you knew that she could turn you into a caterpillar or a hippopotamus or something whenever she got miffed with you. You'd look around too, just like I did. She nearly caught me again in Washington, D.C. That was in 1910. I'd been a good boy for nearly 50 years. Well, pretty good. At least careful. I was standing outside the door of the Willard Hotel that Halloween night, and a big moth dropped out of the darkness and lit on my shoulder. Candace likes to be a moth, I think. She's appeared that way 15, 20 times. Well, I knew at once what it was, and my conscience was reasonably clear, so I just said, "Who's that?"
Hello, darling.
Welcome back, Candace, dear.
Been a good boy?
Perfect, darling.
Love Candace?
Mad about Candace.
You better be.
Now, Candace,
You living here now? In the hotel?
I hope you like it.
I've never been in Washington before.
Well, we'll go sightseeing tomorrow.
I saw quite a lot of it flying in.
Yes?
Who's that woman?
What woman?
Why, Craig, darling, where on earth have you been?
Yes. I thought Gertrude was in Chicago where I'd left her. Wasn't that just my luck? Don't know what Candace did to her. She just disappeared. But you know what that witch did to me? She turned me into a fire alarm box. Don't laugh. It isn't funny. From October 31st, 1910 to October 31st, 1911, I stood there in front of the Willard Hotel. Rain and shine, snow and boiling hot weather. And nobody even turned in an alarm on me. Of course, they did paint me in the spring. Then at 11:30 on Halloween, a little black dog came by. I tried to say, "Who's that?" And I made it all right because I could hear gears clicking and wheels turning. And there we were. Candace in a black fur coat. Me in a blue serge suit, all plastered with red paint.
You look perfectly awful, Greg.
Well, how do you think I feel? Oh, my feet.
Well, now maybe you won't be chasing other women, my dear.
Candace, I promise I'll never do it again.
You better not, sweetheart. I'm a very jealous woman.
So I noticed.
And if you think that was bad, how would you like me to...
No, Candace, please, no, don't tell me.
You may kiss me now.
Oh.
And don't get paint all over my coat.
Candace can be very sweet when she wants to be. But these last 30 years, she doesn't seem to want to be very much. She spends most of the time she's here asking me questions about what I've been doing, where I've been, the people I've seen. Well, friend, I'm getting awful tired of it. 253 years is a long time. A long, long time. With a jealous wife. So I'm going to get rid of her. This time, I'm done. No, I don't love Candace anymore. I'm afraid of her. I told you I got this job here at the university in the history department. I've got this little cottage up here in the hills where I go every Halloween. Well, I don't want Candace barging in on Faculty Row. You see, I'm not supposed to be married here. You know how that is. So I decided to end it all this year. I'm going to kill Candace. That is, I hope I am. When she appears, I'm not going to say, "Who's that?" And then Alicia and I are going to be married. Oh, I didn't tell you about Alicia? Here comes Alicia now. I'd like to have you meet her. This is Alicia.
How do you do?
Alicia and I are going to be married.
Yes, indeed, right after Halloween.
Alicia is secretary to the Dean of Women.
That's how I met Craig.
Why, I hope you don't mean to imply I was flirting with the dean, Alicia.
Oh, goodness, no, dear. I mean, you're being introduced to her when we first saw each other.
Oh. I'll never forget.
Oh, I won't either.
Isn't she pretty?
Oh, Craig, you mustn't talk that way to strangers.
Well, I'm sorry, dear, but you are pretty.
Oh, but I'm so much younger than you are, Craig.
Well, you are a little younger, dear, but that won't make any difference, will it?
Oh, not to me, darling.
Excuse us a second. Darling, I love you.
Darling, I love you.
Kiss me.
Oh, but they're looking, sweetheart.
Shut your eyes a second, will you please? Now, darling.
Craig, dear.
You like her? She's quite a girl, isn't she? Nothing at all like Candace. Man, am I tired of Candace. Wait a second. The phone's ringing. I'll be right with you. Hello?
Hello, darling. This is Alicia.
Oh, hello, dear.
Are you going up to the cabin today?
I'm just leaving, darling.
Oh, I wished I could go with you.
Well, I do too, but I'll be back in a day or so.
Oh, couldn't I? Please?
No, dear. No. You know it can't be done.
I wish I could.
Well, it isn't practical, dear. I'll hurry back.
I could drive up tomorrow.
I'll probably be back tomorrow.
Oh, I'll miss you.
I'll miss you.
I just wanted to say goodbye.
I love you.
I love you.
See you in a day or so, honey.
All right. But I wish I could go along.
It can't be done, sweetie.
I might drive up and surprise you.
No, don't do that.
Goodbye.
Alicia, wait. Oh my gosh, she can't do that. If she does... Hello? Get me 34129. Well, so here I am. I wish I could have got Alicia back on that phone. If she comes up here, she'll... Oh, well, she won't. She's got better sense. Let's see what time it is. Well, let's see. Revolver? Silver bullet? The old Revolutionary War bayonet I had at Valley Forge? Bowie knife Dave Crockett gave me? Yeah, I'm pretty well fixed. Come on, Candace, honey, come on. Yes, come on in. This time you can come ahead of time, baby, and Papa will be waiting for you. And then... She's an owl or something. Wait, if she's an owl, better get that shotgun out. Let's see. Well, Candace. Look out. What the dickens was that? Oh, a moth. A moth, eh? Well, Candace. Here, the Saturday Evening Post. Light somewhere, darling. Light. There. Oh, I missed her. You're not going to get away this time, sweetheart. Get away from that lamp. Get away, I say. Ha! I got you. Oh, you're not dead yet. Well, I'll...
Never mind, Craig.
What?
Never mind. I'm going to die, all right.
Who's that?
It's too late, Craig. You've killed me. But haven't you forgotten something, darling?
What did I forget?
You forgot what I told you back there on the hill at Salem, sweetheart. You'll live just as long as I live. And when I die, you'll die.
Oh my, Candace, let me help you.
It's too late, darling. Much, much too late.
Hello? Hello, this is the Forest Ranger Station. Oh, hello, Brad. This is Joe Thomas. Listen, Brad, you better call the county cops or somebody. Well, I don't know. Well, it's a little cabin halfway up Latigo Canyon. You know the one with the red shutters? Yeah, well, I was on my way up to the station, see, and I meet this girl. Please be quiet, will you, lady? This girl and her car's busted down, and, well, I picked her up, and she wants to come up here. What's your name, lady?
Alicia Denon.
Alicia Denon. So she's going to meet this fella here, and she says, and I give her a lift, and I was just starting to leave, and I hear her scream, you know, holler. So I stopped and run inside, and she's yelling her head off. Lady, please. Yeah, I don't know, Brad. Sure looks awful strange. No, there wasn't no guy here. No, nothing but a squashed moth. One of them big death's head moths, you know. A skeleton. Yeah, a skeleton. All dried up and dusty. Like it was maybe 250 years old. And that's all. Just him and the moth. Funny, ain't it?
You have been listening to the radio play Don't Tell Me About Halloween, written by Wyllis Cooper and originally aired on October 27, 1947. Kevin West played the part of Craig. His wicked wife Candace was played by Pauline Schansner. Bonnie Lee was Alicia, and Renee Sandoval was the Forest Ranger. Our Foley sound technician was Rod Gibson, our lighting and graphics operator, Ryan Lopez. And I'm your announcer and director for this program, Ralph Swain. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Let's liven things up on this Halloween day and put some zing in our hearts. Once again, let's give a big hand for GSR jazz singer Bonnie Lee.
Dear, when you smiled at me, I heard a melody. It haunted me from the start. Something inside of me started a symphony. Zing went the strings of my heart. Was like a breath of spring. I heard a robin sing about a nest set apart. All nature seemed to be in perfect harmony. Sing went the strings of my heart. Your eyes made sky seem blue again. What else could I do again but keep repeating through again? I love you, love you. I still recall the thrill. I guess I always will. I hope we'll never depart. Dear, with your lips to mine, a melody divine. Sing, oh, 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 went the strings of my heart. 'Twas like a breath of spring. I heard a robin sing about a nest set apart. All nature seemed to be in perfect harmony. Zing went the strings of my heart. Your eyes made sky seem blue again. What else could I do again but keep repeating through again? I love you, love you. I still recall the thrill. I guess I always will. I hope we'll never depart. Dear, with your lips to mine, a rhapsody divine. Sing, oh, 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 went the strings of mine. Sing, went the strings of mine. Sing, went the strings of my heart.
Bonnie Lee. The Great Southwest Radio Theater is brought to you by Tide, Procter & Gamble's amazing new discovery for your whole family wash.
Tide's in, dirt's out. Tide gets clothes cleaner than any soap.
Any soap?
Yes, any soap. Tide gets clothes cleaner than any soap. T-I-D-E, Tide.
Even in hardest water, Procter & Gamble's Tide gets all the dirt out of your whole family's wash. Take the drudgery out of laundry day with T-I-D-E Tide.
Tide's in, dirt's out. Tide gets clothes cleaner than any soap.
Any soap?
Yes, any soap. Tide gets clothes cleaner than any soap. T-I-D-E, Tide.
And now, as our radio show comes to an end, and before we sign off the air, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome back to Carlos Jimenez.
In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking. Now heaven knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words. Writing prose, anything goes. The world's gone mad today, good's bad today, and day's night today, and black's white today, when most skies today, women prize today, are just silly gigolos. And though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking. Now heaven knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words. Writing prose, anything goes. The world's gone mad today, and good's bad today, and day's night today, and black's white today, when most skies today that women prize today are just silly gigolos. And though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes, may I say, before this great show comes to a close. I want you to know anything goes.
Carlos Jimenez. Ladies and gentlemen, the Great Southwest Radio Theater Project cast and crew in alphabetical order. From Coolidge, Arizona, Bill Alwyn. We can put the house lights on. From Coolidge, Gene Carter. Also from Coolidge, and our Foley sound technician, Rod Gibson. From Casa Grande, Arizona, Carlos Jimenez. From Florence, Arizona, Bonnie Lee. Also from Casa Grande, Renee Sandoval. From Sherman Oaks, California, Pauline Chancellor. And also from Sherman Oaks, Nathan Swain. From Casa Grande, Kevin West. And also from Casa Grande, Charles W. Young. Our production team included Haley and Ryan Lopez. Our volunteers who assisted with ticket sales, concessions, and equipment setup were Ina Lee, Norma Van Heeswick, and my wife Maji and daughter Bella. I'm your announcer and director for today's performance, Ralph Swain. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you for tuning in. See you on the radio. The copyright on this production does not authorize any other broadcast, distribution, or other dissemination of this production, or any part thereof by means of radio, television, the internet, or any other means, nor does it authorize the recording of this production or any part thereof on disc, tape, film, or any other technology for sale or distribution by any means.